Good morning, everyone. It's really great to be here, see so many familiar faces and many more unfamiliar faces, because we know that our road always consists of new people, and new people bring new energy. So if I'm new to you, I hope to bring energy to you, and since you're new to me, I hope to get some from you. I hope you don't mind. So a little bit of background. I worked at the International School of Tomorrow for almost 6 years, and it was a really great time. I started a lot of student-oriented programs at the school when I worked there, and when I moved on, the experience I had gained greatly helped me at my new workplace, which is Primakov School, or областная гимназия имени Евгения Максимовича Примакова, которая расположена в Подмосковье. В деревне Раздоры, как мы любим шутить. So when I landed there a little over 2 years ago, it became evident that there were many various programs there that helped foster student leadership, but they were not consolidated, and so that was my job, to try and come up with a one program that will unite so many different directions. And we created Leadership Department, a system that is designed to support and develop leadership skills and agency. Okay, it works. Why leadership? Why so much focus on leadership? Primakov School's mission is to create an environment where leaders can prosper, and not just any leaders, but leaders capable of changing the world. It's a very high aspiration for any school, but we know that the mission has to go above and beyond our approximate goals. So the mission is very high, and therefore we focus on training future leaders. Also here you see our 6 core values, wherein we try and live in the same value space with our students. So the same values are true to the staff, to the administration, to the students, and to the parents. We do not divide them. We say these are our basic core values, and we practice them. To tell you about the general makeup of the school, we live by modules, not quarters or semesters or trimesters. We live by modules. A module is 7 + 2. 7 weeks we study, 2 weeks the students rest. So that covers all the national holidays. For example, right now is the 2nd week of the student rest, so we don't break up the week with national holidays. But basically we study until the end of June. This is how we get our 35 school weeks in. And each module has a theme. For example, we have just finished Module 1, and that was Module Citizenship, and we start Module 2, that's called Charity. And most of the things we do are centered around our values, the theme for the module, and the theme of the week, which are always basic: knowledge, leadership, community, creativity week. We call each week by its name. Really helps to create a structure and for everyone to live in the same space. But that's just a little bit about the school. We have about 1,200 students, including preschool, and about 800 students in middle and high school. So why am I speaking about student agency? Student agency in Russian is translated as subjektность. Don't ask me why. It's really weird. But the term was student agency was coined many, many years ago. A lot of people were talking about it. But a few years ago, OECD, if you're familiar with that organization, it's a European Organization of Cooperation and Development. They made student agency one of the education goals for 2030. And basically what I did and what I suggested in our school is to, okay, we say we create leaders, and then we say not everyone can be a leader, right? Well, according to recent research, some scientists say either everyone can be a leader or no one should be a leader. But we can argue with that. And basically, not to put too much pressure on the students, on the teachers, on the parents from the word leadership, we suggested calling it agency. So the word leadership comes from the Old English word leadin, which means to move or change something in order to raise value. So not just, change, but in order to raise value. And agency, I break up into 4 items that make it up for me. So subjectivity or agency, right? In the Soviet school, we called it, самостоятельность, right? Something like that. So basically, let's go back there and pull up those old principles because they work. But agency in students is breaking up into 4 items. First, they have to have freedom and ability to make a choice, to decide to do something. I decided that I am going to change my routine for studying. I make that choice. I am making that choice. Nobody's making that choice for me. I'm making that choice. Responsibility. I take responsibility for making that choice. My mother is not going to be in charge of it. My teacher is not going to be in charge of it. I am taking that responsibility. But what else do I have to have? I have to have competence. That means I have to know how to change my routine. If I don't know, it's not going to be effective. So I have to have competence to do it. And self-efficacy is also a term that was coined by Stephen Bandura many decades ago, but we're talking about it now. And that's belief in the fact that you can do it. So agency is freedom and ability to make a choice that changes something for the better and to be responsible for that choice and to have competence and faith in oneself that I can do it. So once the student has these 4 items, they are an agent or a subject, okay? So basically that correlates with each other, and that correlates with the mission for Primakov, which you remember is creating leaders that change the world for the better. Okay, how does it work at Primakov? And this is the model that we've created, me and my team. Some of these items existed before we arrived at the school. Some of these we created. So basically, in each grade level, there are different programs. Kindergarten and preschool reflect some of these that are relevant. If somebody's interested in preschool, I can share more afterwards. So in grades 1 through 4, we have Prima game. Now at Primakov, we have a lot of things that start with Prima, obviously, or Prime, obviously why. So I will break down each item a little bit later. And then we have smart talks. Smart talks are meetings with a meaning with famous people that share things with the students. For middle and high school, we have 4 items. We have the house system. I will try and speak about it as much as possible because I think that's a system that can work in any school. We have 100 вопросов лидеру, that's 100 questions to a leader. It's an item that's not available to most schools because a lot of prominent people come to our students and speak to them, but you can grade it down and have your students speak to professionals in any area, successful people in any area, fathers, mothers from your community. So we'll talk about that. Class leader council, не забывать до хороших добрых старост. So we call them class leaders, and we have starostat. So that's it's a working group of kids in each class. And we have leadership immersive training, primus inter pares, that's первый среди равных. That's our slogan, where we train the kids that show most potential. And then for all grades, we have a leadership course that I helped develop for 7th and 9th grades, and other grades, other people helped write. That's part of our core curriculum. You cannot not choose to study the leadership course. And that's just a soft skills course. we have Leader Badge Awards. Leader Badge is a program where students receive awards for showing leadership skills. And we also have weekly assemblies and weekly Maxima Sententia, which is a slogan for the week. So what we do by all of these things is we give enough opportunities for each student to thrive. House system, something I'm really proud of, something I really love, something I invest most of my time in. Who here has experienced being in a situation that had a house system in school? So you know, right? Basically, it's the way to divide students vertically and not horizontally, where they become a community for all of their time at the school from 5th to the 11th grade. Originally, it was done in the UK in order to break them up into even sports teams, so that, you know, it's not 5th against the 5th and 6th against the 6th, but you can play sports within one house and between houses and compete that way. We have taken it a lot further. We do everything in the houses. Now, the kids, grades 5 through 11, are broken up into 4 houses, basically evenly based on their desire. And they fill out a form and everything, and they say, I want to be in House North. The students call them after cardinal directions: House East, House West, House North, and House South. And they each have a legend, a totem animal or a mascot, a color that goes with it. And they choose which house they'll end up in, and they end up in that house for the duration of their study at the school. You may not switch houses. This is, okay, so we have this is like faculties in Harry Potter. But basically, so the sorting hat helps you find yourself in one house, and then we're like, it's the sorting hat. The sorting hat did that, you are in House North forever. And they have to learn to love their house even if they didn't want to be there. Our Saturday team building activities and so on and so forth. And then each house starts organizing itself. For example, East, they originally had a dragon for their totem animal, but then they thought it was too evil. They're like, no. They're like, we want something nice, something cozy, something lovable. And so they chose the panda for their other totem animal. And so now they bring pandas from everywhere. You don't see it, but like a lot of these, there are pandas everywhere. So they bring like little slippers with pandas and little stuffed toys with pandas. There are pandas everywhere, so they go there, and when they have to develop their resilience or stressоустойчивость, they hug a panda. Anyways, so everyone starts living that legend, they don't have to be called by cardinal directions. They can be called, in a school we just opened, Технолицей имени Долгих, they call them by resources, natural resources. So they have fire and water and stuff like that. Like, you can call them anything you like. And each house has a housemaster. It's if they don't want to, but they kind of start liking to. Now, what makes any student want to do something? If it's a game, if it's a competition of some kind. So houses have points. We have a point system where for certain activities you get points. You as an individual get points, and at the end of the year you can become house hero, a person who got most points for your house. And at the end of the year, one house wins by the amount of points. And they have a cup, you know, like a kubak, and they really, really want it. And, you know, переходящий кубок. And so they fight for it. And we announce the winner at the graduation day, award ceremony day, whatever your last event of the school year is, you announce it there. So that competition changes everything. They play sports, like each module we have, say, first module we play soccer, second module we play water polo, and then in the summer we play Quidditch, brooms, things, they snitch, they throw, just like Harry Potter, they fly on a broom, they have to fly on a broom to throw a ball through a hoop, and like, it's insane. So, but they compete sports, and then they do other activities. It can be a quiz. So each house brings their team to the quiz. Who wins gets 100 points, second place gets 75 points, 50 points, 25 points, whichever way you decide. And then they collect that throughout the year, and it's a super fun game. It really works for grades 5 through 7. After 7th grade, we developed another thing. I'll tell you later if I have time. Okay. So far, I'm going to show you a video, well, Alexei is going to show you a video of how the distribution ceremony, the sorting ceremony takes place. Every year it's different. We devise a different environment on how the students
Мы увидели новеньких уже в деле за свой хаус, они уже сегодня помогали им.
Став должен, обязан просто идти в атаку, потому что они проигрывают 1-0, 4 минуты, но пока что они в нее не идут.
Ну, сегодня мы заняли второе место, Хаус Сауф. В первом матче мы победили Хаус Норф, я забил 2 мяча. В финале, к сожалению, нам не хватило, наверное, в атаке, потому что мы проиграли со счетом 3-0, было трудно.
Я хотел в Вест, и шляпа меня туда и распределила.
Я попал в Сауф, я в Вест, я очень счастлива. Всем удачи!
Anyways, yeah, I have the link if somebody wants to, and then you'll see the QR codes for our Telegram channels where all of this, you can see all of that and many more. So basically, you know, the more magic you put into it, the more fairy tale, the better, the funner they'll feel, especially in the 5th grades. We actually had to rent that car. It drove into our yard for 24 hours because it looked like the Harry Potter car. We had one made, but then it broke, and so we had 24 hours to fix the situation. Anyways, if you have creative people or just one creative person, you can create the situation. It doesn't have to be so dramatic. It doesn't have to be so splendid, but the idea is you get an envelope, and inside you get the news, which house you're going to join. And that's already magic enough. And then, and then you have to learn to love it, or you already love it. Most kids are happy. So they fill out a form and they say, I want to end up in House East. And of course, we try to consider that most of the time. So no bad surprises. Ой, что у меня не кликает? А теперь кликает. Okay. So if you have more questions about House System, I'm super happy to take them at the end if I have time. Leadership course. Okay, it's a textbook on soft skills and ways to communicate. Plus, we teach them a little bit of hard skills on how to create your own project. We give them the knowledge on how to create a budget, on how to come up with an idea, on how to plan. We teach them mind mapping. We teach them budgeting. We teach them pitching, how to pitch your idea. We teach them reporting, including an accounting report, because any project takes money. So that's all included in the leadership course. And you can see here that in the core curriculum, it's grades 1 through 7. So it's in their schedule. They cannot miss it. They cannot not attend it. They have to get a zachot or else. Or else they'll see me in the hallway. Then for grades 8 through 9, it's a subject of choice. We have many курсы по выбору, so they can choose leadership just the same. And it's a leadership club for grade 10 because they're super busy, but they can still choose to attend, and we have a course for each one. Questions about whether it's available? No, not yet. We just received the expertise from the St. Petersburg University, from their expertise center. So Milovan Kazakova nam dala expertizu, and we are just upgrading things a little bit, and hopefully next year it'll be released and can be used in your schools as well. As a, внеурочка, курс по выбору, I've created a guide for a teacher where there's a script for each lesson. So basically your PE teacher can take the book and teach it, like if they want to. Okay, старосты or class leaders. Each class, we have no more than 24 students in class. And we have 4 in each grade level, except for 10th and 11th. 10th and 11th grades are all the students. So 100 students and 100 students in 10th and 11th, because they do individual student plans. So basically the whole grade is many individual student plans. Depending on the level, they choose each subject. And in them we have 2 class leaders because it's 100 students. But everybody else has 1. They are elected, like your guys are elected. We've tried, we've done, but we do debates and we do press conferences and all of that. Anyways, so they are elected, and then they run the school. Their symbol is a paperclip. That the kids came up with that. The paperclip is so we have a badge. You can see it, they have it, because they unite everybody. Their class, their homeroom teacher, their teachers, house system, administration, because we are large entities, and somebody needs to be the information center. So that student is the information center for everyone. They take the news from one outlet and take it to the other. And they are obviously supposed to be a great example for everyone else. So that's not new. Like, that's just, it's been there since we were in our happy Oktyabrята stage. But it's great to foster leadership within a classroom, and it's also great to help keep your class unified. Okay, role models, who we look up to. We have people that come over and meet with our students, mostly high school, that are of really prominent stature in the country. So they are ministers, heads of banks, nationally acknowledged artists, and our students get up with a microphone and ask them any question they may like. We do not prep the students. We don't need to prep the students. So they sometimes ask stupid questions and we're embarrassed, but we let them live through that experience. And our guests are all very welcoming and very nice. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is the head of our school board. So he was there last spring, found the time, which is, really busy schedules these people have, but they find the time. So I suggest finding people with great ideas and having your students meet with them and practice the way they communicate, practice their respect levels, practice their communication skills, and definitely learn as much as possible from people that have achieved something. Little guys, primary school, we have smart talks. Smart talks are meetings with a meaning with people that are like book writers or travelers or cartoon overdubbers, like anybody who would be of interest to them, and they do exactly the same. They ask them questions. So there's a little talk that your speaker gives on who they are and what they like doing, and then the kids ask them questions. So highly recommend this strategy. By the way, I believe that any of these things can be used in any school. It doesn't have to have the resources of Primakov, because this is all based on people. People, you and the children. You don't need to be anybody else or have anything to organize a meeting. All you have to do is your desire. A game in primary school. Who here works in primary school? Okay. All right, so basically it's a prep for house system. Each class competes against each other. We choose a topic. Like this year it's books. So they each choose a book that they explore all year. They read it. They illustrate it. They learn everything about the author. They decorate their classroom like the book. They speak about it at our school assemblies and tell us what they've learned. They celebrate the birthdays of the characters of the author. They will be decorating a Christmas tree as their book this year. So a Christmas tree will be in the shape of kolobok, like literally, like there'll be a Christmas tree. And then we will sell them at the auction for the parents at the Christmas fair, and they'll buy them. First they'll pay to make them, then they'll buy them themselves. But it looks great, and the kids are always excited, and they also get points and classes win. But in primary school, you can't have one class win, otherwise everyone else is going to cry. So basically, you just give them awards for being most creative, being most explorative, and such and such and such. So that works. Whatever they do throughout the year is your imagination. Absolutely. What are quizzes, quests, trips, museum, excursion, field trip, anything like centers around your theme. We've already done cities. Last year they had cities, and they were the mayors and the vice mayors. So instead of starosta, you have a mayor. And so basically you just copy the older system, but make it really fun. And, you can do it regardless of whether the whole school is doing it. You can do it for your class. And you can do it in middle school too, actually, if house system doesn't work. Okay, our school's assemblies are like school chapels, but we do them every week. And we do them for the whole school. And we do them 3 times over in one day because the whole school doesn't fit in our hall. So similar. We choose a topic for each assembly that has to do with the topic of the week, topic of the module. For example, last module was citizenship, and we chose to dedicate each week to a famous Russian teacher or teacher of teachers. So we covered Sukhamlinsky, Stanislavsky, Soloveychik, Kushinsky, Shalva Amanashvili, and so on and so forth, Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy. And each assembly, we spoke about that person. Students are hosts. Other students write the text. Then I get the text, I rewrite it, but I still say the students wrote it. And then they say it for the whole school 1, 2, 3 times, or we have a few teams. We do practice during breaks. We do have a great visual support system where we have great slides that we prepare for that as well, slides or video or graphics. But That's not the most important thing. Most important thing is that you are united in one space and time. And you start sharing the same values, and therefore you grow together. At the end of each assembly, almost each assembly, we give out awards. Somebody got diplomas, somebody got this, somebody did this, and then we congratulate. And homeroom teachers are required to attend. Other teachers or staff can attend as well. The hall doesn't seat everyone, but homeroom teachers have to be there, or supervisors in your case, right? Okay, so at the weekly ceremony, we give leader badges, значок лидера. It's very coveted. It is not given for just anything. The students really, really want to get it. It's just a закатной маленький 1,5 сантиметра значок. Why do they want it? They want it because if you collect 5 throughout the year, you get a 100,000 ruble certificate for your next year studying at Primakov. The parents compete. The parents are like, mine got leader of the year last year. And so it's like super fancy. 100,000 rubles means nothing to these people. Absolutely. But the fact that your student got that, the fact that your child was that good. So we give those out. We have a long list of things they can get it for. Achievement, special attitude, special behavior. Somebody can suggest another thing. For my leadership course, I also acknowledge if somebody did really great and stuff. And then all the teachers have to agree. So basically, we post the preliminary list in our Telegram chat. And I say, this, or my colleague says, this is this, I nominate this, and then the teachers start writing at the bottom. He was evil at my class. And then we have to denominate him. So it's really basically everyone's decision to, like, when you receive the badge, you really are that good, right? Okay, and it's really hard to get 5 throughout the year because there are 800 students, right? So how many do you give? Like, we don't give that many. And then we don't do it weekly, we do it like bi-weekly because otherwise it's way too many. Anyways, and at the end of the year, what happened to my slide? And at the end of the year, they get that award, Leader of the Year award. And so it's Leader of the Week badge and Leader of the Year award at the end, and that means they get a certificate for 100,000 rubles. But, it can be anything. Like one student told me, like, I don't need it. Like, I don't need 100,000. Can I give it to some kid who really wants it? Like, I am just happy that I am that person and I get a star. Okay. Maxima sententia is a Latin statement for a principle or something that motivates us. So basically, we choose one for each week. We have them set up for the year in advance, and that maxima is worked through the assemblies, class hours, lessons. So we basically live that principle or try to learn about that principle. We discuss it. Class leaders are required to take it to their class and discuss it. It's in every screen in the school. It's printed on papers where they don't have the screen so that it's really in their face, and they try to learn it. We do them just in Russian. In English, we do them on our school radio and on the video, but everywhere it's in Russian, we believe that it has to sink in your native language, basically. And we choose people that are indisputably significant, basically. We won't choose somebody that is questionable to somebody else. We try. So Daniel Kahneman is a Nobel Prize winner for connecting economics and psychology and learning and teaching the world how to integrate these two, and so we believe he was great in that. So, and we, basically organize the same value space for that 1 week. Let me check the time. I have until 12, right? Okay, 8 minutes. So basically, then you get your students that are showing most potential or that are most interested, and we take them for 3 days, and they live on campus. We do have that opportunity, and we train them. always there is a subject that we learn that is like a hard skill. For example, how to make presentations, how to debate, how to perform on stage. So they'll have a coach that coaches them that throughout for 3 days. And I always have an acting class that goes parallel to that. So they switch groups, because I believe that acting class is more about is less about acting, but more about self-presentation. So we integrate that, and it's usually between 30 and 40 high school students that do that, and works great. After that, you really have your core student council, or whatever you want to call it. They're very bonded because they've lived together, and they're ready to work. They're always very charged after that. You, of course, have to choose the coaches or the speakers capable of inspiring your students. Okay, so back to house system. I mentioned that it works great for 5 through 7 grades, but what we did in the older grades is we've developed a leadership certificate. So at the end of each year, if they participate in the house system kind of events, they will get a leadership certificate that lists all of their events. Really great for portfolio, for going to foreign schools, when you have everything you've done listed on a certificate. So basically, it has a bit harder rules. Everybody else can just play. You can just go and record a radio once a year, get 5 points for it, and not do anything else. But to get a leadership certificate, you have to go through along the roadmap. So the roadmap consists of 8 different experiences that you have to go through. 4 of them are mandatory: public speaking, organizational, creative, and academic. And the rest are voluntary, and then you have to collect 50 points. So basically, each one has, okay, so let's take public speaking experience. You get 5 points for recording 2 radio segments. You have 10 points if you host an assembly, and you get 15 points if you develop and recite your own TED Talk. So difficulty level, and then you get the points. You cover that experience, and then we list it on the leadership certificate. That can work or not work. Like, this is a stage we came to after 6 years of house system. So now we developed this for older students, but they really want it. So hopefully that will work. These are our official Telegram channels. Why I have образовательный центр «Взлет». It's also a program that we have for training in the Olympic subjects for students from the Moscow region. So if anybody is from the Moscow regions, your students should be there. They come and live on our campus for 3 days to 2 weeks, and they train with the best professionals in the subject area that they're competing in at the National Olympiad. Okay, I have 5 minutes to take questions. 4. Можно по-русски, если хотите, вопросы? Miss Julie? The question was if we have any special needs school at our school. Yes, we do. We have kids with cerebral palsy. We have kids with autism. We have kids with ADHD. Some of us know, some of us don't, but definitely we do. And the school is for that. Obviously, they have to be intellectually intact to succeed. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Better than other kids. Better than other kids. Okay. Yes, please.
У меня такой вопрос. Вот УМК, который вы для этих курсов разрабатываете, скажите, пожалуйста, учитель вообще абсолютно любой может взять и сразу начать вести? Или ему нужна какая-то специальная подготовка тренингов, он должен научиться этому, чтобы вести этот курс?
Ну, смотрите, я писала так, чтобы можно было взять и вести. Ну, то есть достаточно прочитать вечером, познакомиться с какими-то концепциями, есть там QR-коды, куда какие видео, что показать и все такое прочее. Вот. Но все равно серию каких-то тренингов мы заточим, конечно. Мы сделаем для того, чтобы хотя бы показать вам, как урок работает. И там он может быть разбит на 2 года или на 1 год, там уже вот на 3 года, пожалуйста, как хотите. То есть там достаточно.
To take part, or you somehow have find a way to include them during the regular school day?
Thank you for your question. It's very important to clarify. Okay, breaks are our special magic time. Breaks is when we get most of these things done. Also, because I cannot get them off class. It's not possible. There'll be a lot of unhappy teachers, parents, and administration. So we do breaks. We start lessons at 9. That means some kids get to school a lot earlier. We get to school, my staff gets to school at 7:30. We have an hour and a half before then. If we have to keep kids after, like I told you, 5 a.m., you saw that situation with the car. We put it up overnight, and at 5 a.m. we were already there because some kids get there very for this was the sorting ceremony, and then we have the initiation. Then the kids will come. New kids will be let go from class. But most work happens in the evening. Telegram channels, phone. At school, our kids don't have phones. There are no phones. Nobody can communicate with the kid unless they check the schedule and run. So, of course, we have phones, but the kids don't. But after school, they get their phones, and while they're in the car driving home for an hour and a half, there is a lot you can get done. Yeah. But we have the 9 p.m. rule. After 9 p.m., we don't contact the kids, obviously, for obvious reasons. So it's possible. It's just going to be very hard, but it's possible. We do have 2 20-minute breaks for breakfast after first and second lesson. House system stuff during that hour. They like to go do sports, hang out with friends. So, it's a challenge.
And that house system, they're doing house meetings after the classes,
After classes.
After classes, okay.
After classes, or like first break, like I have 10 minutes. We have, just so you understand, we have one building that has 5 wings and one building that has 3 floors and 3 wings. And even for them to come to one spot takes a long time. And usually a meeting will take 5 to 10 minutes only, even during a 20-minute break. So in order for them to just meander to that place and for us to have a meeting. But in that one meeting, a lot can be decided. A lot can be done. Also, meetings are not the most effective thing. It's you're working individually with the kids. It's like always us writing them and like, hey, do you want to do that? Do you want to do that? And like, you just... Housemasters do a lot of work. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I'll be here for...
Вопрос такой насущный для учителя обычного. Скажите, пожалуйста, какие образовательные программы вы берете? У вас есть авторские или вы просто идете по государственным программам?
В школе?
Да.
Конечно, в ГОС. Вы что? Нет. Да, нет, у нас
просто
все
государственное.
Не
прозвучало, поэтому
ну, я про своих баранов-то рассказываю, а не про соседских. Поэтому, да, конечно, нет, мы учимся полностью на российской системе. У нас есть IB в очень маленьком проценте, только для детей. Наша школа заточена на то, чтобы дети оставались учиться в стране. То есть сейчас из наших выпускников 57 учатся в МГИМО. За вот последние 5 лет, когда выпускники были. Они здесь, МГИМО, ВШЭ, то есть МГУ. Вот это наши университеты, цели. Поэтому мы обязаны, конечно, и ЕГЭ, и СОШ, и ВПР, и РЖД, что там еще. Thank you.
Да, извините, вопрос из Зума. Из Зума вопрос.
Здравствуйте, вопрос из Зума.
Вопрос из Зума. По каким контактам приглашаются выступающие на ассамблеях очень высокого уровня?
Еще раз, по каким что?
По каким контактам?
Каналам? На 100 вопросов лидеру? По самым высоким. Всегда есть чей-то знакомый, хороший друг, чей-то ребенок. Вот. У нас очень сильный попечительский совет, да. Но это не значит, что я не могу позвонить и сказать: дорогой прекрасный человек, у меня есть вот такие дети. Я понимаю, что я ничего не могу сама им рассказать такого, что вы им расскажете. Может быть, вы найдете такое время или такую возможность. Всегда рассказываю эту историю, когда одна знакомая девочка училась в Гарварде, и ей тоже... Should I switch to English? По-русски нормально, да. Знакомая девочка училась в Гарварде, и ей сказали, ну вот как бы у нее задание там было в мини-курсе поговорить с каким-то знаменитым человеком, чтобы она пригласила его туда. Она просто позвонила Биллу Гейтсу, просто дозвонилась до него, просто договорилась с ним, и он просто бесплатно приехал и поговорил со студентами. И ваш дар убеждения — это больше, чем вам нужно. Вот просто воспитайте это в себе.
Спасибо. Спасибо.